Okay, and for number 20 we have Rocket Knight Adventures for the Sega Mega Drive. Yet another retro game that I didn't even play as a kid. Or at least I kind of think I didn't, I don't know, I get a weird nostalgic feeling whenever I play it. Maybe I did play when I was a kid, maybe a friend had it. I don't know. This game's awesome. Yeah, easily one of the finest platformers on the Mega Drive, and the 16-bit era as a whole, to be perfectly honest. The 2010 HD reimagining that was released by Konami, it didn't really meet the expectations to this one, in my honest opinion. It just didn't have the same sort of feel and simplistic nature that this game just shines with. But in any case, at least we've got this awesome game. Personally, Konami, I think you should just re-release this game with HD graphics, you know? I'd buy it. Hell yeah. Anyway, Rocket Knight Adventures, number 20. Okay, for number 19 we have The Legend of Dragoon for the PS1. Now, you haven't seen a lot of PS1 games in this list. That's probably mostly because I didn't really grow up with the PS1, you know? I mainly just leached off my friends during that era. Now, I know a lot of PS1 owners regard the Final Fantasy series as, you know, the best RPG series on that system, but I disagree. Maybe it's because I didn't play Final Fantasy at the time, but what I was playing was Legend of Dragoon. This RPG was just plain fucking epic. I seriously have this theory in my head that if you're just exposed to an RPG, no matter what RPG it is, at a young enough age, you're gonna grow up with the fondest of memories of it and think it's just the best thing ever, right? Because I swear to God, I'm as fanatical about this game as most Final Fantasy VII fans are about Final Fantasy VII. It's simply a gorgeous masterpiece with a fantastic story, great music, and I really, really want a sequel. Please, Sony. I know I've bitched about sequels about 10 times in this list so far, but that's what you do when you make good games, okay? Anyway, Legend of Dragoon, number 19. Okay, and for number 18 we have Klonoa 2, Lunatia's Veil, and I have no idea if I'm saying that right, but I feel ashamed because I love this game so much. But yeah, if you go back in the list and look up what I said about A Boy and His Blob, you can pretty much get the gist of why I love this game, right? It's just a really simple, charming 2D platformer. So simple, it almost to a fault, really. Playing this game is just soothing, right? It's not a particularly challenging game, but I can just imagine coming in from a hard day's work, sitting down to play the first few levels of Klonoa, and feeling way better. It just gives me that really soothing vibe. It seriously does. And I am so sad that the Klonoa franchise hasn't really ever kicked off. Pretty much ever. Sure, we've got the Klonoa remake on the Wii, which you all should buy incidentally, but I want more. I want more! Klonoa 2... Klonoa 2, number 18. Okay, and for number 17, that's one of my favourite numbers by the way, we have Jet Set Radio for the Dreamcast. I'm not sure how I could classify Jet Set Radio as a platformer, as an extreme sports game. Is it an awesome game? Well, of course. Yeah, seriously, one of the greatest Dreamcast games. I actually remember I played a copied version of this, yes, I know, shame on me. And it was the American version, it was called Jet Grind Radio. But in the game they always said Jet Set Radio, and over here in Europe it's called Jet Set Radio. That caused a lot of confusion as a kid, and I was always remember thinking, why have they got a Jet Set Radio when it's Jet Grind Radio? And you'll never really think of these things, you only really let them make you lose sleep at night because you love the game so much, don't you? And I love this game so much! Spraying graffiti of the music, I talk about music a lot, I know. And this has a bunch of, you know, J-pop and all that. But it's still awesome! I love it! Jet Set Radio. Also, the graphics, to this day, are still some of the most colourful and vibrant I have ever seen. You know, it's funny. You could actually release this game on PSN or Xbox Live, just the full game. You don't have to touch it at all. And it would... It's basically not aged one little bit, hasn't it? That's the mark of a great game right there. And definitely one of my favourite games of all time. Jet Set Radio, number 17. Okay, and for number 16 we have Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door for the GameCube. I remember saying to myself when I first saw this game on a shelf at a game shop, this just looks like a 2D Mario game. They probably can't think of anything good to do with Mario. I was still kind of a Sega fanboy at the time, so they've just made another 2D game. But then I had the chance to play it myself. I popped in expecting a 2D Mario game. 2D Mario games are usually good. Then I realised it was an RPG, and I was quite disgusted. Why on earth would you put Mario in an RPG? Are you really saying that you could take that character and put him in an amazing world with amazing characters, catchy music, an awesome battle system, and just one of the downright most epic, memorable, funniest, inspiring storylines you will ever hear in your life? Can you really put that into an RPG? No, you can't. So I turned it off and didn't touch it again for another 2 weeks when I was just completely bored one night. And I played it all night that night, and the next night, and the next night, and the next night, until I fucking beat it! This game! Why did I doubt it so much? It's so fucking good! And for number 15 we have Dark Chronicle for the PS2. If you live in America, this is actually called Dark Cloud 2, and quick disclaimer, you can play this game before you play the first Dark Cloud. They're not linked story-wise at all. So basically I'm telling you to go out and play it now. You've no fucking excuse. But yeah, this was another one I played at a friend's house, and we just played it constantly. I can't think of anything wrong with this game. I really can't. It's just so big, so unique, so... It's hard to put into words, actually. It's weird, because I look back at this game, and I'm constantly thinking, yeah, that game's amazing. It's totally in my top 20. But it's kind of there simply because it's good. I don't know, it's a really weird feeling. It hits me at an emotional level so much. Seriously, maybe it's something to do with the story, maybe again with the music, the gameplay is so fucking addicting, I don't know. All I know is that this game is amazing, it's one of my favourite RPGs of all time, and you should all go play it. Incidentally, it was made by Level 5, and White Knight Chronicles for the PS3 is pretty fucking good. Anyway, number 15, Dark Chronicle, or Dark Cloud 2, depending on where you come from. Okay, and for number 14, we have Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. Now, this is going to be really hard for me, because I could go on for hours about this game, but I gotta keep this short. Bottom line is, you wouldn't think an interactive courtroom simulator where you play as a defense attorney would be a good game. You wouldn't think that, would you? Well, it fucking is. It is one of the most addicting, buzz-inducing games I have ever played in my entire life. Now, all three games are amazing, and you definitely need to play all of them in order to get, you know, the big huge story it's got going for it. But my personal favourite goes to the first one. I don't know, it just felt like it was in its purest form at that time. It was simple, yeah, it was also the most memorable in my eyes. Again, the other two were amazing, but the first one gets it for me. I've only played this game for about 4 months at the time of this recording, and I'm putting it this high on the list. That is really shocking to me, it seriously is. But in that 4 months, I've played through this game like 5 times. I'm not getting bored with it. I could play it all my life, I swear to God. Oh, anyway, Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. I fucking love him. I want to commit murder, just so I can have him defend me. Yeah. Anyway, Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney, number 14. Okay, and for number 13 we have Metal Gear Solid 2. Now, it's pretty much arbitrary in a top 20, top 50 games of all time list to have a Metal Gear game in there, isn't there? But I bet a lot of you weren't expecting Metal Gear Solid 2, were you? I'm sorry guys, but this one is my favourite. Yes, I know Raiden's stupid and the story is uberly confusing and whatnot, but I don't know. To me, it was like the original, but a more enhanced version of it. Metal Gear Solid 4 and 3 sort of have their own little gimmicks to them, whereas this one seemed to just build off its predecessor and just take everything in a whole new next generation sort of way. There is a lot of nostalgia to be had with this game. It was actually my very first PS2 game, and I remember at the time I didn't even have a memory card. I couldn't afford one after buying the console, so I just played it constantly from the beginning. I never got bored of it, seriously. So yeah, I really can't pick any other Metal Gear game besides this one. Don't get me wrong, I love this quadrilogy of games amazingly. Metal Gear Solid 1, 3 and 4, 10 out of 10 games, but this one is the winner for me. I'm sorry guys. Don't hate me. Anyway, Metal Gear Solid 2, number 13. And for number 12, we have Guitar Man for the PS2. Now, you guys have probably noticed it by now, but I'm having a hard time describing, why I love these games. These games that are at the top of this list, they just have an emotional connectiveness to me, They're just part of me, and nothing can replace them for me. And a perfect example of that is fucking Guitar Man, okay? I probably just played it at the right age or something, or it was just, that one obscure game that I thought, oh, nobody knows about this except me, I feel so cool. I don't care, but nothing can replace this game for me. Nothing, okay? Obviously, I love the music. It is one of the greatest soundtracks I've ever played. The gameplay is just so unique and addictive for the Benami genre. I just love it there. I love it, okay? Guitar Man. He's one of my favourite characters. I got a tattoo of him. Alright? If I was still in the band, I want to play this music on stage. It is awesome. Just plain awesome. Anyway, Guitar Man, number 12. And to finish off this part with number 11, we have the Orange Box for the 360. Now, a lot of you may be sort of crying sour at this, because this is a compilation. And I gotta be honest, not being a PC gamer, I didn't play any Half-Life games when they first came out. This was my first time playing them in general. And holy shit, the Half-Life trilogy, or the game and the 2 expansions, is some of the greatest cinematic gaming you will ever play in your entire life. Everything about it is just well constructed, perfectly executed, and downright perfect. And not just that, but there's Portal? Fucking Portal? You all know what Portal is, yes? I'm assuming so. I'm assuming you've all played it through it like 50 times and all that. But yeah, this compilation was my first time experiencing all these games at once, so I don't feel bad, putting a compilation on here. Normally I wouldn't, but if it's something that I experienced firsthand, without playing any Half-Life games before it, I feel okay putting it on the list. We'll make that a rule, shall we? I mean, there's also Team Fortress 2, but I'm not an online gamer, and I didn't even touch Team Fortress 2. But that aside, I know there's a huge following to it. But either way, Half-Life and Portal, that Orange Box, it is the finest purchase you can make this generation, or one of the finest purchases. It's just fucking good. Number 11, the Orange Box. I need a break. Too many good games.